We're going to wait one more minute and then we're going to start right at 6 o'clock to give everybody a chance to join the Zoom meeting. Okay, so welcome to Kindergarten Roundup, our Q&A session. This is something very new for all of us, parents and staff. So it's quite unique, but I'm kind of interested to see how it goes. You guys had a chance to see the video that we put together yesterday for all of our parents. And so at this point in time, we're here to answer any questions that you guys may have in regards to kindergarten for next year and the safety of your children and academics. With that being said, I'll leave it to the parents, and you guys can let me know if you have any questions. You just kind of raise your hand or whatnot, or just kind of jump in because I can't see everybody on the screen, unfortunately.
You can also put questions in the chat as well.
Thank you, Cassandra. That's a very good point. Appreciate that. So Cassandra and Debbie, do you guys kind of want to briefly kind of just summarize what you guys went over yesterday to see if there's any questions that parents have, as well as UD, real quick? Okay, go ahead, ladies.
You want to go first?
Do you want me to start? I can start with the health requirements. So thank you for watching my video. I struggled to make it. Anyway, I just wanted to point out a few things for next year, for the start of kindergarten. The state of Illinois requires some forms that have to be filled out. You need a physical, proof of immunization, an eye exam, and a dental exam. The most important is the physical and proof of immunization. The other exams are great for you to have done, but the physical and the proof of immunization, without that, your child will not be allowed in school. And that's a state of Illinois law. So we will exclude your child if we don't have that. So my advice would be to get an appointment and get a physical as soon as you can and get it to us. And then it's done and you don't have to think about it. A couple other things that are just briefly mentioned. If your child has any sort of medical problems that we should know of, please call us. I'm there. We can call any day. We can talk about it and get you set up for next year. Okay. And also it's important to leave us some good contact information so that if your child does get sick at school, we can contact you or, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, someone in the family. Okay. All right. That's about all. Try to keep it short.
And so the video talked about the health requirements, but it also talked about some of the things that your child will learn next year in kindergarten, and then ways to help support them with that before even beginning kindergarten. So to help get them more prepared. And we'll post the link for that for you guys as well, in case you haven't seen the video, so you can see those ideas and ways to help your child.
Mr. Edwards, there might be a couple questions for you here. It says, my daughter is shy at first. Is there a way I can request she get put in a class with at least a friend from daycare that is also attending Johnson?
Situations like that, case by case. It's very difficult to take parent requests because when you take every parent request, you can't honor everyone, and it's almost like a Pandora box. But I do recognize that there are issues like this, and I certainly will talk to parents one-on-one to see if that request is possible. I don't deny every request. I just don't promise every request. And so I will put like Cassandra said, I will put the link to the video so you guys have access to that. So go back to some other questions you guys have here. So do you know if kindergarten will be in person or hybrid next school year, and what are the hours? So kindergarten will be in person next year. We're going to offer a full day option for the whole district. And so will there be a hybrid? Yes, there will be an option for students to join a virtual academy. They're still building what that looks like, and we're in the process of building it out, but there will be a full day, and the hours will be from 9:15 to, if you're an all-day kindergarten, it's 9:15 to 3:30, and if you're half-day, it's 9:15 to 11:45, and then it's 1 o'clock to 3:30. All right, let me see if there are other questions we have here.
Stephen, Jessica?
Thanks. Part of the registration process involved a internet usage release. I was curious about what does internet usage look like in kindergarten? Just any details about how that works in the classroom would be great. Thanks.
Okay, so I'll answer part of that, and I'll let the teachers answer part of that as well. There is internet usage in kindergarten. The district moved to 1-to-1 last year when we entered the pandemic. So every student in the school has access, will have a computer, their own personal computer, and be able to take it home as well to utilize back and forth. As regards to how they utilize that in the classroom, it's different for every teacher. So I'll let Debbie and Cassandra answer that question.
We use it quite a bit. We use it for educational games and programs in math and reading. And we have specific programs we use for math and reading, but then also we're able to target specific activities based on what we've studied. And we can post links to those on our Google Classroom, and the kids can click on those and get some extra practice that way. We also do live games. One of the favorites is called Kahoot, where the kids all have their own device and they get to compete with each other to answer questions and learn that way too. So do you want to add anything to that, Cassie?
I just wanted to add that our district looks at a lot of these different programs, and we make sure that student privacy is upheld when they're using these different programs.
The question that says, is full day free, or do you still pay for full day? Right now, full day is not free. It's still tuition based, but there are different options depending on whether you qualify for a reduced cost or full cost. And the next question was, are half-day students auto-assigned morning or afternoon, or do parents register for their preferred time? Parents register for their preferred time. We try 100% to honor parents' first requests until the classroom fills up, and then unfortunately, once the classroom fills up, we have to then bump individuals to the next available, whether it be AM or PM. Let me see. That was the last question. Any other questions, guys?
I have a question. I have a student with an IEP transferring in from Jefferson. It's my understanding that she's going to have push-in therapy. So I was wondering when we would find out more about how that's introduced into the environment, and kind of like when we should start preparing that transition.
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm glad. Well, the IEP team will actually meet with you, and they'll set a meeting time up to talk to you about how that would look in the classroom, and depending on how the IEP is written and what's inside the IEP will determine how that, what operates within the classroom, what kind of supports and services, what type of push-in services are given to that student, and whether it's push-in or pull-out.
Okay, so we would like expect, so I just had my IEP meeting a couple of weeks ago, so I would expect another one to complete that transition. Is that?
Yeah, I'm
okay.
Like if you haven't had the last meeting to complete that transition, you should expect another one. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yep. I just saw too that we have Patricia Spicer on here. She's our one of our PTA co-presidents on here. And well, Patricia, you can introduce yourself real quick to everyone. Let them know about the PTA.
Hi, I'm Trisha Spicer. I will be on the PTA board next year in some capacity. And I know there's a few other PTA members on tonight. Diana Canna is on. She's our treasurer. She does an awesome job. Yeah, so there are tons of opportunities for helpers. This year has been a little different than other years, but we do a lot of things for the kids and lots of different activities. We have one big fundraiser in the year that's typically in the fall. And we run things like picture day and yearbooks and other, parties. We do a fall party, a winter party. a spring party, and then of course the big party at the end of the year, which is the taste, which is just so all the kids can come out and have fun. But we are always, always, always looking for helpers. So please contact us. Come to our meetings are typically the first Wednesday of every month. We usually meet at the school in the music room. With COVID next year, I don't know how it'll be. Right now we're meeting on Zoom. So it might look like this next year, who knows? But we would love to see all, the new faces next year.
Thank you, Trish. I appreciate that. I thought there was another question about the internet usage. Are there any browser restrictions / safety features or school uses? Yeah, all school districts have safety components in regarding to internet usage. So it's pretty tight. Kids aren't able to have access and free willy to kind of go on the internet and access because they're only using their Chromebooks, and the Chromebooks have been dialed down with the access and their ability. So no, they're not going to be able to go on to inappropriate sites or whatnot. That's all been restricted from the students. Great question, though. Thank you for asking.
Is district planning to open fully again by the beginning of next year?
Yeah, thank you, Omar. Yeah, yes, the district is looking to open up fully next year. They're going to offer a full day option, and they will offer a virtual academy option. But we're looking to open up and bring all the kids back for full day. But there will be we're still working on how that looks in regards to like what the class size will look like and what the restrictions are from the CDC that says it's going to be whether it be 6 feet or 3 feet distancing or whatnot. So all those things are still being worked out. That is something that's a moving target. Dee can tell you, our nurse, that and she's on the front line of all that in regards to what the CDC allows us to do. But right now we are looking to bring all students back, and what that looks like as far as the size of the classroom and the students, that's still to be determined. The lucky thing is that Johnson Elementary School has one of the, probably the largest kindergarten classrooms size-wise in the district. It's a good thing.
Thank you.
Absolutely, no problem. How many all-day kindergarten classrooms will there be? So typically for the last 3 years, we've had 2 sections of all-day kindergarten, and they've pretty much come close to maxing out. And so we hope to continue the tradition. And if there's any reason we have an influx and we need to have a 3rd section, we will do that. There have been schools that have had an influx and have had 3 sections of all-day kindergarten. So what it requires is just at least a minimum of, as of right now, of 16 students to open up another section once you go over whatever that proposed number is for next year. So yes, we could have up to 2 to 3 ADK sections if necessary, if we have that much interest. Any other questions? I know it's a lot of information. This is also the awkward time on Zoom where everybody stares at each other. You don't know whether or not you should talk. Great. Sorry, guys, I got somebody in the waiting room here. Well, I don't want to cut our time short, but also just want everybody just to stare at each other on the screen as well. I want to let you guys know one of the things that I like I said in the video, but I probably didn't express very well, because we didn't want to make the video very long, is that your students are going to be safe. So whether in whatever capacity we come back in, you have to believe that we are going to make sure that our reopening team is going to be just as diligent next year as we were this year to make sure that all students at Johnson School are safe. And like I also said in the video, that we've had 0 cases, not just in Johnson School, but in District 200 to infiltrate the buildings. And so that's because of all the protocols we put in place. Make sure that the kids are safe. And our parents, to be honest with you, our parents have done a great job of communicating to our school to say, hey, listen, my child has, symptoms, and what should I do? And then Dee ends up talking, and ultimately we take the precautions route. And that's why we've been able to stay open this long. So we plan on doing the same thing next year and keeping strong procedures in place to make sure that your students. And also next year, given the fact that if we are still wearing masks, we are making sure that kids get plenty of mask breaks, especially with kindergartners. We know that they need to to move around and get outside as well. So all these things are being considered. We're all talking about what a full day would look like next year, what that will entail, how lunch would look, how snacks would look. And so all those things are being looked at as well.
There was one more question, Mr. Edwards. Do you know who the half-day kindergarten teachers are going to be?
So right now, the half-day kindergarten teacher is Rebecca Hurtado, and she's been the half-day kindergarten teacher probably for the last 3 years since we've had all-day kindergarten. If for some reason we don't have a huge influx of all-day kindergarten students, we only have one section, it would be Rebecca Hurtado and Cassandra Rodrick. But my guess is historically we'll continue to have 2 all-day kindergarten programs and one half-day program. Typically, that fluctuates. Sometimes it's AM and PM, and sometimes it's just a half-day AM program or PM program, depending on the schedule. Oh, so can you please tell us how we can access the enrollment link for full-time students and when? You mean for the 80K? The 80K information is being sent out by the district in regards to registration time, and it's going to be a process which parents will be allowed to go in at the same time, and it'll be like almost like a timestamp when you go in to do 80K. It's a fair way they do it. So that information is going to come out from the district. It won't come out from Johnson School. And it'll be coming soon. I'll make sure I'll get that, and I'll try to send that information out to the families or get it out to you guys as soon as possible if I find out earlier than normal. Any other questions? Oh, you have a hand up, Megan? Go right ahead. Oh, you're muted, Megan.
There. Now can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Just as a brand new family to public school, our oldest daughter will be kindergarten. So we're getting thrown into this in the second year of pandemic world. But, we were lucky enough to kind of bypass everything you guys went through last year. But is there anything that you need from us, the parents, to help support you in whatever we need to be ready for, or how can we help, anything like that we just haven't thought of since we weren't here last year dealing with what you've already been dealing with?
I'll let the teachers answer that from the classroom perspective, and then I'll answer from the administrative perspective after that. So go ahead, ladies.
Well, with our students, there's lots of ways to get involved, and we let you know what we're working on in class and how you can help your kids at home. This year looked a little different because the kids all had their own Chromebooks. So they did some homework through Google Classroom at home. So the parent would typically log the student in, and it was something maybe the parent would have to help them get started with, but that they could do independently once they kind of got started. We do some different types of reading activities at home where the students read to the parents and you listen to them, working on counting and sight words and things like that. Miss Cassie, anything?
I would just say, like, in terms of pandemic and how that's affecting our students, we haven't been able to do a lot of like hand over hand when teaching students how to write because of social distancing requirements. So just helping your child start to hold the pencil the right way would be really helpful before they start kindergarten. And we'll work on that too in the classroom. But again, since social distancing requirements, we don't want to always be touching their hands and doing hand over hand in the classroom, just to keep everybody safe.
Do you guys provide grippers if they need help with when using a pencil or any?
So we like actually to use like a smaller pencil, and that tends to help with grip. And if they're having difficulty with gripping the pencil, then we will reach out to our occupational therapist in the school and ask her for her suggestions as well. And we kind of take it on like a case-by-case basis. We don't just give grips to everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then Megan, I'm going to answer your question from the administrative side, and I also have Dee, our nurse, also answer a question from her side as well. So Dee, why don't you go first, and I'll come behind you.
Okay. Because we don't know what's going to happen next year with wearing masks or not, it's probably a good idea to get your child used to wearing a mask, just in case we have to have them next year. So I know they're little and we thought they would struggle with this, but actually the kids have done a fantastic job keeping their masks on. They're amazing. So just introduce it to them. I don't know how much they're wearing them at home or out if you go out, but so that it's not the first day of school, this is the first day they have to put a mask on. Now, maybe we won't have to wear masks next year. I don't know, but let's hope, right? That's a big one. Also, potty training is really big. If you can work with your child, if they're not already potty trained, getting them potty trained before kindergarten is a necessity. They need to be able to go to the bathroom on their own and, be able to pull up their pants and things like that. So keep that in mind when you send them to school with, buttons or zippers and that, sometimes it's hard for the kids, maybe like, sweatpants or stretch pants are a little bit easier for the kindergartners.
Thank you, Dee. And then also from just administrative side, communication is huge for parents from kindergarten all the way up to 5th grade. That's huge. So anytime your child's going to be absent, you're going to need to communicate that to us. Let us know. If you don't call us, we're going to call you and say, where's your child? Because we want to make sure they're safe. Especially like if you're in a half-day program and your child's being dismissed from the bus, it's extremely critically important that if you're not there as a parent, then you have a guardian that we're aware of that's there to pick up your child, because if there's no adult there, your child's brought back to the school and they will be in our office, in our care, safe until we can get a hold of you or a guardian to make sure that they're safe. Next year, in regards to, this kind of goes along with your question, Megan, and someone asked a question about will parents be able to get in the building again. In regards to what you could do as a parent next year, I don't know what the restrictions are going to be next year with regards to parents entering the building or not. I'm hoping that the parents can come into the building, or at least some smaller group of parents can get in. That's the hope. We all want to return back to normal as much as possible, and if we can replicate that by having parents in volunteering, even if it's just 1 or 2 parents in a classroom, we'll try to do that if the rules allow it. Obviously, CDC is gonna guide us in those restrictions, but we want that to happen. So, but to answer your question, communication is huge, and volunteering and supporting the teachers and your students anyway. And really, we want parents to also work with their kids at home academically. I know it's different and harder than what we've learned in the past, a different way of learning, but any support with your child every day with reading with them, that's huge. You'd be surprised what reading every day with your child does for them. So those are the type of things that we're looking for in parents. And I'm sure I could probably go on and on, but I don't want to bore you guys. And I'll some other questions. What'd you say?
Cassie and Mr. Edwards, I didn't know if you remember the exact date we had scheduled for the time when the students get to come in and meet us in the fall.
I know last year we did it on Institute Day. We have to look at the calendar. It's changed a couple times, but there will be a day that we're going to have the parents come in and meet with the kindergarten teachers, and the students can meet with their teacher before they come to school. We'll get that date out to you guys. I just don't have that on hand right now.
It's usually a day or two before school starts, and the students, most years in the past, they come in and they can find their table or desk and their cubby and they can drop their supplies off so they're not carrying those big bags the first day. Last year, we were still able to have it outside, and we scheduled time slots, I think, for people. So they were still able to come in and meet with us, and we had them come inside too. Now that I think about it, it wasn't just outside. We had parents and the students come in one at a time, and they were still able to find their desks and things like that, and meet us and chat with us for a little bit, and have the students be a little more comfortable after they could kind of see the room ahead of time.
Thank you, Debbie. I want to answer Andrea Barlan's question. He said, "Can I find all the paperwork I need for registration online? Do I have to come in to pick it up a packet?" Yes, you have to come in and pick up a packet. You will not be able to find everything online, unfortunately. Will the Meet the Teachers Day info be sent out? Yeah, we'll send it out to you guys. We'll make sure you have that information. Debbie put her email there.
And then can kindergarten be car riders? Yes, they can. And they follow this car rider line that all the other grades do.
And we sent out a video this year. We changed our pickup and drop off process that we've done for years, and we've reversed it to allow more cars into the parking lot and also to prevent the backup on Continental. So we created a video that we sent out to our parents that showed exactly what to do, and we'll send that video out to you guys as well, so you have access to that, so you can see if you are going to be a full day parent, how the drop off and pickup procedures are, how to run a Johnson school. Okay. My daughter is shy. I'm at the beginning. I went to the top of the chats again. Oops. All right. So was that the last question? Can there be kindergarten car riders and do they get dropped off? Are there any other questions we have that we can answer for you guys? Oh, I see that we have Emily Varghese, our assistant principal, has just joined us.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. Hi, everyone. It's nice to see you. I'm Emily Varghese, the assistant principal. See some familiar faces. It's great to see new faces. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself as well. We are always available, and I'm sure Mr. Edwards has mentioned that we are here to support you and make kindergarten as successful as it can be in any way possible. I know it's a big year. I know for me, it's been a big year. I have a kindergartner myself, so I completely understand what you're going through. And like I said, please do not hesitate to reach out. We are a phone call and an email away, and we are looking forward to seeing everyone.
Thank you, Emily. I also see we have Stephanie Sanabria. She's the principal secretary, head secretary in the building. And Stephanie, you want to introduce yourself? And this is the person. If you have any registration questions, she can answer any questions in regard to registration you have. This is the gold mine right here.
Yes, hello. Like Mr. Edwards said, I'm Stephanie Sanabria. I'm his and Mrs. Varghese' secretary. There's also an attendance secretary who was unable to attend tonight, but both her and I do registration, transportation, pretty much anything you could think of minus health related paperwork. We will help you with as much as we can.
Stephanie, I want to make sure I gave the right answer. There's a question about registration paperwork. They wanted to know if they can find everything online or they have to come in to pick up a packet. I told them they have to pick up a packet. Was I correct about that?
Yes, there are forms available in the district website, but they don't have all the forms that we require for registration. There's only about 2 forms they have online, but we do have a whole packet that needs to be filled out. For that, we have those available in the office. We're in the office from 8:30 to 3, Monday through Friday. So anytime between them. I do suggest not coming at 1. That's our dismissal time, and you'll be stuck in traffic with the buses and the car riders and everything. But yes, and you can always give us a phone call ahead of time, and we can get a packet ready for you. We're willing to work with you with whatever way. I know these days are a little different for everyone, so. Yes, we have those available in the office.
Thank you, Stephanie. Okay, so we're getting close to the Dan, I just added Facebook for Johnson Elementary PTA into the link for everybody there in the chat box.
I think there was a question about bus service for half-day students, if that's still going to be available next year.
Yeah, and then the question about if you have older children at Johnson, can they send a packet home with the other child? Yes, we can make it convenient for you and we can send home with the other child. Just let us know. We can do that. Any other questions?
You know what, Steph, I'm sorry, we can't hear you.
And then there was also a question about when they find out classroom assignments and if their request for AM kindergarten was granted.
So as of right now, if you've asked for AM or PM, those have been granted. Like I said before, the only time that they won't be granted is when Stephanie comes to me and says, we're at our limit. So then we have to then look at in the other options, which would be AM or PM depending. But we try to honor every request, first request. And then, so we're at the 6:29 mark. Any other questions before we end the meeting here? And believe me, if we didn't answer all your questions tonight, feel free to.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Okay, so I have a son coming in to kindergarten, and I just feel like the preschool he went to didn't do much justice for him. And I don't want to like bad talk or anything, but I just feel like he's gonna come in and like not know anything, and I can only teach him so much. So I feel like he's gonna be so behind of everybody else. Is there like anything I can do besides we're doing worksheets at home, we're doing everything I can be doing at home to catch him up, but he doesn't like mommy as his teacher. So I'm just so scared that like he's gonna get there and then he's just like not gonna have it.
Well, I want to appreciate.
However,
Go ahead.
we'll work with your son. If he needs extra help, we're always great at making sure we give the students exactly what they need. If they need a little boost at the beginning, that is something we do. Were you able to see the video? We offered a few things to work on in reading and math. Yeah, so those are the main things, the things that we listed in the video, and then we will definitely work with your child wherever they are at, okay?
Yeah, the cool thing about Johnson School is, and I tell this to all of our parents, we're in an advantaged school because we're a Title I school, which allows us to take on the bulk of the Title I funds for the district, which allows us then to hire quite a few like reading staff or whatnot. And so we utilize our reading teachers very uniquely, very different than probably the rest of the district uses them. We use them in the capacity of coaching other teachers and doing intervention. With kindergarten, we've designed, every year we design a way for all of our reading specialists and reading teachers to go down to kindergarten at the same time, and they work with the kindergarten teachers and create smaller groups and work on different literacy skills with those students. And so next year, we're implementing a really robust model of instruction, which will even allow that to even happen even better. And so the good thing about Johnson School is we're a school that takes all learners, no matter where you are, whether you are above grade level or below grade level, and we get them where they need to be. One thing, I typically am a very humble person when it comes to Johnson School, but I'm gonna brag about this real quick. Johnson, probably for the last 5 to 6 years, academically with just our own internal assessments that the district uses that measures all the schools. We were the only school that every year they have like a color measurement, like light blue is in the stratosphere, like your kids are on or above grade level. We were the only school in District 200 for 3 to 4 years in a row that had every grade level in the stratosphere blue. We also, for the last 3 years prior to the pandemic, there's something called the niche ranking system, which Illinois uses to rank all school districts in all individual schools. I didn't know it existed until about 3 years ago, until I found out from our director of school improvement, reached out to myself and the assistant principal at the time and said, hey, we're going before the board to let them know that Johnson School in one summer or 1 year hopped over 378 schools in Illinois. No school's ever done it before, and you guys moved to an A- ranking in the state of Illinois. Like, wow, okay. And then the following year, we got another email, phone call from Director of School Improvement, said, wow, you guys did it again. You guys are ranked A in the state of Illinois now. Every school in District 200 is ranked A. No other school is ranked higher than us. We're all ranked even. So we take kids and we move them. And that's kids who have IEPs, that's kids who have EL, those are kids who are non-EL. It doesn't matter who you are. We take all learners and we move them. And so I don't think that every school can say that.
Oh, you don't got to sell me. My daughter excelled. It's just my son's a little different, and I just want to make sure he's actually gonna like learn.
Yep. They're in good hands. Let me tell you.
All
like
right,
I said,
you got me.
we push them even higher. So it's all learners. We take them and we take them where they need to be.
Good luck with my little man. Sorry, Mr. Tato.
Hey, we've heard that before. So, I like that. Johnson's awesome. Thank you, Trisha. I appreciate that. And I can't say enough good things. Well, we're here to support you guys. We want all your kids to be successful. We want them to be safe. And remember, our lines are open. You can communicate to us at any point in time. We're here to support you. Okay? So if we didn't answer your questions tonight, feel free to come back and reach out to myself, Stephanie, or any of the kindergarten teachers, and Emily, or Dee, and we'll support you guys and answer your questions. Trisha as well. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye.